Tennessee Titans fans, I I don't understand why this has to be so complicated. And if you're watching out there and you're a fan of another team, can you please tell me in the comments below, is it this complicated everywhere? Or is it just Tennessee who cannot figure out how to put anybody in charge of anything? I am so sick of collaboration. We have got this new report in a report from Paul Koharski. There's a link to it in the video description below and in the pinned comment. Paul Koharski, you can go read the whole article there, but the gist of it is talking about the fact that in spite of the fact that the Titans have hired Mike Borgonzi to be the new general manager of the organization, Chad Brinker is still going to have the final say on everything roster related. Is it this hard everywhere else just to put somebody in charge and let them run the roster? So when it comes to picking up free agents, when it comes to drafting people, who's making the decisions here? What is Mike Borgonzi here to do? There is a press conference going on tomorrow where Chad Brinker is going to talk to the media first, and they're not going to air it. You're going to have to just rely on the reporters to give you quotes. Why? Why can't Chad Brinker, the person who's running everything, why can't he just talk to everybody? And then Mike Borgonzi is going to come out and talk to everybody, and they're going to air that, apparently, and we'll be live streaming that here on the channel tomorrow. But this new report from Paul Koharski says that even though the initial report after Borgonzi was hired was that Borgonzi's going to have roster control and he's going to have the final say, no, it's going to be Chad Brinker, which again, it begs the question, number one, why would you hire the most qualified, sought-after GM candidate of this entire offseason to have him come in here and have to report to someone? Why would that GM want to come here for this job where he's really not even going to be having the final say? He's got to get everything okayed by someone who's up above him. Why did he even want this job? I'm glad he took it, but why does he even want it if it's not even a traditional GM role? There has to be something here that we don't know. There has to be. There has to be something here that we don't know. Like, maybe. And I'm having to just throw darts at the wall and see if I can come up with an explanation. Maybe Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi are such good friends. Maybe they go back so far and they're on such the same page that they don't even feel like it's going to be a big deal. Like, we're just going to get in here and we're going to work on this thing together. But if I never hear the word collaboration for the rest of my stinking life, it'll be too soon. I am so sick of hearing about, we just want to be in lockstep. We just want to collaborate. We just want to be a team and work on this together. Just put somebody who's qualified in charge of it and let that person do it. Because you want to know what happens. You know what happens? If the Titans come out next season and they're horrible again, if the Titans whiff on a draft pick, if the Titans whiff on a free agent or a trade, and it goes south, you know what's going to happen? Nobody's going to know who the heck to even blame. Nobody's going to know. Is this Mike Borgonzi's fault, or is this Chad Brinker's fault? Is this Amy Adams Strunk's fault? Is this Brian Callahan's fault? Nobody's going to know. Just like they don't know now. Nobody knows who to blame for anything now. We still don't know whose idea it was to draft Will Levis. It's been 2 years, and we still have no idea. Do you see what I was talking about the other day? As happy as I am about hiring Mike Borgonzi, and everybody's talking about how great of a hire that is, and that's great, do you not still see how this organization just reeks of dysfunction and chaos, even in the middle of the good things that are happening? It may be, I'm entertaining all options here. Maybe it's a media thing. Maybe the media, the Paul Koharskis or somebody, maybe they are making this out to be more complicated than it actually is. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there are people involved closely with the organization who are just making this out to be more than it is. But the reason I find that hard to believe is because I've been watching this organization for the last 3 years, and everything they've done has been more complicated than it needed to be. You hired Rand Carthon when the coach didn't want to, and then you had to bring in a mediator to try to make sure everything went smoothly, and then you fired the head coach to keep that GM, and you let that GM hire a head coach, but then a year later you fired that GM because the guy who you brought in to be a mediator has been elevated, and he's pretty much been doing the GM job anyway. But instead of just making him the GM, we're going to make him the vice president of football operations, and then we're going to get another GM, but the vice president of football relations is going to have the final say over everything. But this GM's going to come in, and it's a highly qualified guy. What's he even going to do? I don't know, but he's going to come in, and they're going to work together. And it's like, why does it have to be this complicated? Can somebody just, anybody, I don't care if you're a fan of the Titans, if you're a fan of another team, why does it have to be this hard? Why does it have to be this hard? I do not see any other organization with this kind of confusion and dysfunction on a regular basis, except for the Tennessee Titans. Why could we not just bring Mike Borgonzi in and say, hey, you're the GM, do the job? Instead of, hey, you're the GM, help Chad Brinker do the job. At the end of the day, there's got to be a reason that Mike Borgonzi took this job. There's got to be a reason that they wanted him to take this job. There's got to be a reason. There's no way this guy came here just to be Chad Brinker's sidekick. There is no way. I refuse to believe that. He's too qualified. He's been waiting too long. He had other options. He could have gone to the Jets. He could have gone to the Raiders. He could have gone to be the GM somewhere else. He had interviews at those places. He was highly sought after at those places. There's got to be a reason he chose here. After all these years, there's got to be a reason he chose the Titans. There's got to be something we don't know going on here, because this is absurd. This is absurd. Go read the report. Paul Koharski's report is in the comments section, a pinned comment below, also in the video description, and you tell me what is even going on. I will just conclude on a positive note. Like I said after they fired Rand, I will echo the sentiment now. All of this chaos, all of this dysfunction, if you come out and start winning next season, I don't care. I don't care. You can be as dysfunctional and chaotic as you want. If you come out and start winning games, if you draft Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders and they come out and they start playing like a quality, good to great NFL quarterback, I won't care. I won't care about any of this. You can fire whoever you want. You can be as dysfunctional if you want. If you start winning, that's all I care about. Literally, that's it. That's all I care about. I do not care who is running the show. I do not care who is making the decisions. I will give credit to whoever wants it. If you start winning, I will be okay with all of this. Tighten up.